Welcome, ladies and gents. Let's talk Acolyte Episode 7. Full spoilers, because no one cares. First things first, do hit subscribe. Turn the bell notifications on if you're new here. Anyway, let's just talk about what happened and then what I thought of it. So, this episode shows everything from Master Soul's perspective as well as the Witch's perspective on Brendog. It hasn't progressed the story forward anymore, and that's bad, because there's one episode left. This was sold as a story about the Sith. It's not happening, is it? Also, this will never, ever, ever be able to wrap itself up in a meaningful and satisfactory way because one episode left. It's just not going to happen. Unless that episode is 2 hours long. It's not going to happen. Okay? This is terrible writing. But what happens? Okay, so everything from Master Soul's perspective is fully understandable. So the Jedi is stationed on Brendog because the planet was completely lifeless some years ago due to some hyperspace situation. I don't know. But now it's not. So they're like, well, why is that? Is there going to be a convergence or something like that in the Force? I can't remember what they said, but it's something along those lines. Some massive Force situation. So they're like, well, we need to try and find it. We need to try and figure that out. Cool, perfect, fine. Not an issue. Master Torben does not want to be there. He's been there for 7 weeks and he wants to go home to Coruscant. He is Indara's Padawan. So that's important information. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to go home. He is Indara's Padawan. That's important information. Master Soul, whilst going off and about, discovers the girls. We've seen that. He sees it from, well, we see it from his perspective, and we do see that, you know, there's some kind of, all the dialogue that Master Soul hears throughout this sounds a bit sus. Sounds like the girl's going to be sacrificed, right? In fact, at one point, the girl's May does actually say there is a sacrifice. Which, from a Jedi's perspective, yeah, you're going to want to save the girls. Yeah, you're going to want to save the girls. Okay? If you hear that one of them is going to be sacrificed or they're both going to be sacrificed, you want to save them. But anyway, going back to what actually happens. So Master Soul sees the girls, tells everyone, and follows them. You know, he follows the girls to the massive fortress. Sneaks around and stuff. A little bit sneaky. And everything he sees sounds a bit weird. It sounds a bit sus. You know, he's seeing the girls fighting with their mother and all this kind of stuff. Everything from his perspective is actually really understandable as to why he's like, no, we should really go and save these girls. Like, it does seem that way. So he goes back to Indara. And Indara's like, okay, well, you know, let's go and have a conversation with them then, I guess. So they go and have a conversation. Now, during this time, we've seen it already briefly. Master Torben falls under the spell of Anastasia. But we now see it from Master Torben's perspective inside his head. Mother Anastasia is actually the bringer of her own destruction. The dumb bint. So she sits there in his brain and is like, oh, you wanna go home, don't you? Obviously he starts to figure out that he wants to go home and starts to tease him with it. Really pushes it forcefully. Yeah, you can go home. We'll go home. Like, come on, ask me if we can go home, etc. Like, really, really, really forcefully. Now that's important. That's important information. Really important. Because when they finally get the sort of go-ahead that they can, you know, go off and essentially test the girls, right? When they come back and they figure out that the girls, when they test the girls and they start to say, yeah, we're going to be sacrificed, because they literally say, I'm going to be sacrificed, and then the results come back. Master Torben obviously took some of their blood and tested them. The results, by the way, shows that this May and Osha are quite literally one being that was split into two. So this is them quite literally trying to one-up George Lucas's 6 films. You know, it's not just one. We created one person with the Force. No. Anakin, no. We've beat you there, boy. We've created one person with the Force, and then we've split them in 2. Osha and May are literally one person that was split in 2. Lame. Anyway, but when they find that out, Torben gets told the only way that can happen is with a convergence or invergence, whatever it was, something in the Force that they were literally there looking for. And so he's like, shit, this is what we need to go home. I really want to go home. Let's go. So he speeds off to the fortress. Right, so a few things there. Mother Anastasia should never have got in his head. Never have teased him. This situation probably never would have arose. He never would have ran off to the fortress, right? But then also, Master Undara should have had more control over a goddamn Padawan. Right? Yes. Anyway, Master Soul and Padawan Torbin, Torbin races off to the fortress, and Master Soul races after him. Indara and Kelnaka go up in a ship to go there as well, etc. They all meet back at the fortress. Torbin and Master Soul are in the fortress, and they're like, look, you know, this, we don't, okay, calm down, all right? But this is, you know, getting a bit feisty. We're just here for the girls. And during that time, a few things happen. We see it from May's perspective when she's going to lock Osha, you know, in the room. She does quite literally light up that thing. You know, she lights up the book. She does start that fire. She does regret it, but she still did do it. And actually, it's the Darth Maul-looking mother, mofo, that made May do that. So maybe she's the Sith, I guess. Probably. But she made May do that. She was like, get mad, get angry, go, go, go. Then that's your fault. But then Mother Anastasia got in Torbin's head, led to this situation where they came to the fortress. If they never came to the fortress, because Mother Anastasia never did that, Master Soul never would have killed Mother Anastasia. Because also, Mother Anastasia, at one point, decides to disappear into dust, which is something straight out of a horror film. So Soul's like, oh my god, is she going to attack me? I don't know. I'm going to stab her. Perfectly reasonable at that point, I think. I mean, dumb bitch should never have done that. Like, you... Okay, maybe she didn't, you know, mean any harm. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's something straight out of a horror movie. What did you expect to happen? So anyway, Master Soul kills Mother Anastasia. Mother Anastasia's like, oh, I was going to let her go. It's like, okay, well, that's your fault, love. You should never have disappeared into dust and try and looked like someone out of a horror movie trying to attack someone. Anyway, Darth Maul-looking mofo starts to fight with everyone. And then all the witches control Kelnaka. And then Kelnaka like brutalizes Soul and Torbin. But Indara jumps in and saves the day. And then all the witches are presumably unconscious, not actually dead. Because when they lose control of Kelnaka, they just all like fall down. But it's like they're obviously not dead. They're obviously just unconscious. And then we see Master Soul trying to save May and Osha. Because he does. He's trying to save them both. He realises he can't save them both. Right, he physically cannot save them both. I don't understand how. But he's, okay, weak as piss in the Force, I guess. So he can't save them both. So he just saves one of them. He saves the one that he thinks is good. Osha. Perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. Anyway, then Indara convinces Master Soul to lie. They're like, we must go tell the council. Master Soul's like, we must go tell the council. And Indara's like, no. What about that girl? She's been through too much. Okay, you're not going to tell the council because she'll have no one then. And it's like, okay, well, that's perfectly reasonable as well. That's not... You're not making anyone look evil here, even though you're supposed to. And we still haven't seen another Sith. So this is lame and boring and shit. And it's not going to wrap itself up in a way which is meaningful, good, or particularly satisfactory. So there you go. That's what happened. There's my review. It's terrible writing. Got one episode left. And apparently this is a story about the Sith. Right. It's not. It's not about the Sith, is it? It's not at all. We've got one more episode. This ain't going to end in a meaningful way. This is a badly, very, very badly written show. What do you guys think, though? If you've seen it, let me know down below. I'd love to hear it. Please do, by the way, support me further via Patreon, which is the first link down below in the description box, because YouTube and its Google overlords loves to demonetize my channel. So that'd be great. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.